It's time for this week's RV and camping news. Before we begin, I've been telling you for months about our sponsor, Togo RV Plus. Well, now that membership is called Road Pass, and your $49 per year Road Pass membership includes premium access to Campendium, Road Trippers, Our Village, and Togo RV. But Jason, those apps are already free, you say? Yes, they are, and you should check them out to see if you'll use them first. But if you're already on board, a Road Pass Pro membership is going to get you cell service coverage maps on Campendium, 15,000 verified boondocking locations on overnightrvparking.com, unlimited trip planning on Road Trippers, and live turn-by-turn RV routing on the Togo RV app, along with over $5,000 in discounts on things like tires and lithium batteries. You can save $10 on your Road Pass Pro membership with the code RVMiles10X at togorv.com or in the link in the description. Right here at the top, I want to send out our thoughts and concern to anyone affected by the recent tornadoes and high winds across the Midwest. It's a bit out of the scope of our reporting, but I know thousands of people have lost their RVs, many campgrounds and RV dealerships have millions of dollars in damage, and of course, many lives were lost. Our best goes out to anybody that was affected. Gas prices have dropped about 10 cents on average nationwide since Thanksgiving and should continue to drop through the end of the year, according to the head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, though we still may be paying close to the highest Christmas Day amount for fuel ever. The national average on Christmas is projected to decline from today's $3.31 per gallon to $3.25, just a penny away from 2013's Christmas high of $3.26, the priciest Christmas on record. And a lot of people will be buying that fuel. Americans who had to cancel getaways and get-togethers last year because of the pandemic are making up for lost time this holiday season. More than 109 million people, an almost 34% increase from 2020, will travel 50 miles or more between December 23rd and January 2nd, according to AAA. That dramatic bounce back will bring this year's numbers to 92% of 2019 levels. Road trips remain the top mode of travel during the holidays, with over 100 million planning to head to their destinations in vehicles, despite gas costing $1.25 a gallon more than a year ago. Domestically, theme park heavy destinations like Orlando, Florida and Anaheim, California top the list of popular travel spots. Las Vegas, New York City, and several other Florida cities also rank high. Though traffic through those major metropolitan areas will increase as it normally does around the holidays, delays are expected to be much lower than average years. Of those 100 million people on the roads, KOA says 22 million will be camping during the remaining holiday season, particularly new campers. 69% of new camping households are considering a winter camping trip. Snowbirding also remains popular, with 2.9 million households planning to spend 3 or more months in a campground in the winter off-season. That said, seasonal campsites are getting harder to come by, according to an article from Woodall's Campground magazine. Due to the high demand for camping, many campground owners are converting seasonal sites in their inventory to nightly sites. An overnight campsite can command 2 to 3 times as much revenue, even though it's not quite as stable. But with people camping more and more, that stability is less important to many campground owners, especially investor groups who are increasingly purchasing family-owned parks. It's a trend that the article says has been going on for years, well before COVID, but the surge in camping over the past year and a half has accelerated it. Many park owners say that it's a difficult thing to do because of the ties seasonal campers have with resorts that they may have visited for decades, but nonetheless, they're leaving a lot of money on the table by offering too many seasonal sites. We all know that RV service, especially warranty work, is quite frankly disastrous right now. Well, luxury Class A maker Newmar and high-end RV dealership chain National Indoor RV Centers have decided to do something about it. According to an article on camperreport.com, now when you bring your in-warranty Newmar motorhome into a National Indoor RV Center, they will fix your warranty repair issue during that first service event. Usually, a dealership has to figure out the problem and submit it for warranty approval, with lots of back and forth between the RV and component manufacturers, and then a wait for parts to be shipped. National Indoor RV Centers will have pre-approval from Newmar to identify the problem and start work immediately. Meanwhile, they'll stock the top 200 or 300 fastest turning parts at each of their locations, while larger, slower turning, more expensive parts will be stocked at National Indoor RV Center's Texas facility, where Southwest Airlines has multiple flights every day to each one of their other location cities. Needed parts can be put on a plane. The goal is to have every part where it's needed in under 24 hours. Newmar, in turn, will be placing their own senior service technician at the Texas facility. Now, obviously, Newmar is an expensive product, but hopefully these types of innovations will prove successful and filter down. This is one of the benefits of a company like Newmar now being owned by Winnebago. Imagine if Winnebago finds this partnership successful and profitable, and they do the same thing with Winnebago motorhomes and trailers and Grand Design towables. Perhaps with a major dealership chain like RV Retailer, or maybe with any dealership that has a certified master technician signing off on the repair. Some folks in the RV industry are working on this problem. I talked last week on the RV Miles podcast about how Forest River is streamlining its parts cataloging to make it easier for dealers to get parts quickly. I think we're going to see a revolution in service in the next decade in the RV industry. And I know some of you are laughing, but it doesn't mean it will be perfect. It's just going to be a way for manufacturers to differentiate themselves from each other. Finally, say what you want about the nation's largest dealership chain, Camping World, but its CEO has been in quite the giving mood lately. Marcus Lemonis is behind an initiative called the Great American Tip-Off, which launched in November, pledging $1 million from his Lemonade Foundation to tip servers and other workers across the country. And he's enlisted celebrities like Amy Schumer, Jason Biggs, and Kristen Bell to get involved. Last week, he visited his alma mater, Christopher Columbus High School in Miami, where he gave each school employee $18,000 and an additional $7 million that will fund important educational improvements. He also gave $1 million to God's Love We Deliver, a New York City provider of medically tailored meals for individuals living with severe and chronic illnesses, along with a $3,000 tip to each employee. Nice work, Marcus. That's it for this week's news. Let us know your thoughts and opinions by leaving a comment below, and please hit the subscribe button for more videos like these. And remember, likes are free and they help our YouTube algorithm a lot. We'll be off next week. We hope you have a Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate.
Edition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
Here's last week's news video if you missed it, and here's a great video you haven't checked out yet. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you next time.